Yeah, I shit myself. Welcome back, everyone, to DFR 2. This is match 2, and what a match it was. An incredible reverse sweep on the Atlanta Reign. Absolutely amazing match. We're just going to get right into what happened here. We start off on map 1. It's Nepal. And right out the gate, I got nervous. And why did I get nervous? Well, mostly because the strategy that Toronto seemed to have was the same one that they had in the last game, which was let Sado just run in and just, I've got this. Just go in. I saw that. I went the other way. Just run in and just start pounding. The problem is he didn't have the support this time. And Atlanta was a much better opponent than the Titans, so it didn't work as well. Now, when it comes to this, it showed that the synergy was a bit off. There was a lot of ults that were, kind of misused. People were over here, people were over there. It was just bizarre. Sado had one of the greatest shatters I've ever seen in my entire life. I wasted the fainting joke on the last video because him doing a literal jump off 360, bam, was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen by a Toronto Defiant player. Just absolutely incredible. But they really, really looked really bad, honestly. I was really afraid after that first map that it was going to be a 3-0. And you know what? That might be my pessimism. I'm a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. I have a lot of pessimism. That's just part of who I am. But I was really nervous that all the hype gained from the last video that you guys watched went away and was because they played a weak opponent. Well, then map 2 comes around. They looked awful on defense. They looked awful. They refused to adapt. Atlanta runs in with this Ryan composition, and the Defiant just were like, we can do this. And again, same thing, Sado, I've got this. Except he didn't this time. He didn't have this time. It looked bad on their defense. Then their attack comes in and they, boom, they pound the first point. And then they get held to spawn for 4 minutes. I don't know about anyone else, but I felt like I was watching a funeral. It was hard to watch. They kept using ults and getting no results. Did that rhyme? It did in time. It was insane because you see them use window and you're like, okay, well, they can capitalize on this. And then they just didn't. And then they would use it again. And then Atlanta was just like, oh, there's a window there. Good job, boys. Like, it was so easy. Then they win the fight. They're pushing the payload, but there's only 30 seconds left. There's no way they're going to win this. And then they do. And then they do. I don't know how, but they won the second point. And then they're going into the third, and they made it competitive. They went from getting held to spawn for 4 minutes to finishing the map, losing, but not looking awful, making it close. I don't know about you, but when they were at spawn, again, I felt like I was watching a funeral. And then the rest of the map, I felt like I was watching a rebirth. It was literally Jesus Christ himself coming out of the tomb going, you think I'm held at spawn, bitch? I got this. And his name is Sado. So going into map 3, I felt good. I felt really good. Map 3 comes around, and there were some weird plays. But the thing that was crazy was the aggression. They did not let the Reign have anything here. It was nuts. On the defense, right, there was a few plays that really stood out to me. The main one was that they had a minute left, and the Reign were resetting, and the Defiant pushed way further up than they had the entire time. And when they do that, they immediately push in and they use Primal and just smacks them around and they win the fight. And to me, that is something that we have not seen from a Defiant team in a long time. Again, it's all about that aggression. And I loved seeing it come out of them. It was fantastic to watch. I was so happy. Then we get to the attack. And the Atlanta Reign decided to try something with their attack. And Hisu basically said, I'm gonna go Junkrat and you're gonna have a really bad time. Are you excited? Because you shouldn't be. It was so dominant. He literally just ran in, boom, boom, throws it, bang, and your body's freaking flying everywhere like it's a freaking mannequin sale or something. And it was just incredible to watch. And then he switches off, and it's not a bad thing. He goes Ash, and he does really well here. Kai really looked like he was dominating Hisu in the first two maps. He was clearly the one that was leading the charge. This is where Hisu said, no, I'm not gonna let that happen. No. And he came in and he slapped. He was so good. And it was fantastic to see. It was awesome to see that map 2, you had a situation where the team had a strat come against them again with the rain, and they just didn't know how to do it. And then in Dorado, they had the same situation where Atlanta comes in with a strat and they immediately adjust and stomp them. It was so nice to see. I was so happy, honestly. The funniest part is seeing Hisu just literally blow everyone up, and you just see him on camera and he's just... He looks bored. He looks like you're trying to explain trigonometry to him. Just... I do this in my sleep. Okay. Like, it was amazing. The guy is just destroying folks, and he doesn't even care. And such a huge bounce back. The second this map takes place, that's when, at least for me, I felt that there's a chance of a reverse sweep here. They took the Atlanta Rain out back, and they did some unspeakable things. It was amazing. Then Anubis happens. And Anubis was just, it was another monster, because the first point happens, and all that happiness that I gained watching Dorado just went, they disappointed me again. I can't believe they're doing this to me. How am I going to recover? I'm gonna sleep time. I'm going to get drunk. Everything sucks. And then they come back. In second point, Hisu switches to Sombra and just goes, this is my happy place. And he just literally hacks everyone, gets the most dominant EMPs ever, and the team literally looks like the Fusion. They capitalize on EMP immediately. There's no issue. There's no ult being thrown out and no execution following it up. It's just straight up, we threw out an ult. Everyone's dead. Good work, everyone. Come back again sometime soon now, would you hear? Yeah. And then, I mean, the comms for the Atlanta Rain must have been hilarious, because I don't think Hawk said a damn thing because he kept getting staggered every time. He was just kept having a conversation, just keeps getting staggered. Honestly, he's gonna have freaking dreams. He's gonna dream of Lastro sleep darting him constantly tonight. He's just gonna be sitting in bed just like, not another one. Not another one. Just let me die. It's gonna be awful for him. And you know what? I wish him well. I do. I wish him well. Maybe a little bit. I was so happy. It was absolutely insane. It was a good time. It was a good time. Sado came in the last map, map 5. How are we going to finish this out, boys? Are we going to do it? Are we going to capitalize? Are we going to give our fans all the hope in the world for just snatching it away? Not this time. Not this year. No, the Coke bottle will not allow it to happen. Okay? He won't. All right? They paid a lot of money for Sado to drink that much Coke, okay? You're gonna win, gosh darn it. You're gonna win, I swear it. And then they did. It wasn't close. Kai was playing Widow, which normally I would shit in my pants. And they just dealt with it. They just straight up dealt with it. They were like, oh, there's a problem. I'm gonna deal with that. And then they dealt with it. That's what normal people do. My ADHD ass is just like, I need a podcaster. I can't enjoy anything. You know what I mean? It was amazing. Sado, I think... A lot of the doubts for this Toronto team this year was Sado the best tank in 2020 because of the team he had around him, or was he the best tank in 2020 because he was the best tank? When Lastro does the interview, they ask him a few questions, and there were two things that he pointed out that I really loved. The first one was that they were really surprised actually that Anubis worked. They weren't planning on playing the comp. I assume he means both the Sombra and the Ana, but it just kept working. So they were like, oh, okay, well, I guess that works. We'll keep doing that. And I love hearing that something that seemed so brilliant and magical was just a spring of the, maybe we should try this. Just like Freddie Mercury waking up, just being like, ah, I'm just a little boy, nobody loves me. Play some notes on the piano. And it's like, just makes a masterpiece, just freaking waking up at night. It was awesome to hear that. And then you also hear him say very clearly that Sado is the leader of this team. And to me, that's where I go, they were wrong about Sado. This whole time, they were wrong about Sado. And Philly was wrong about Sado. I think Philly's going to regret letting him go. I understand that Mono is an amazing player, but I think that Philly made a mistake. I do. I think Sado's cracked. He has looked so good. He has made a team that was not supposed to beat Atlanta make Atlanta look stupid in a reverse sweep. And this team is legit. This team is freaking legit. It's going to be so much fun. It is going to be so much fun, dude. I will say one thing. Next week, so they don't play next week, but they play the week afterwards. And it ain't going to be easy. They're playing Washington, who looks to have an unbelievably stacked lineup this year, and they're playing London. London should be easier, but we always know that something to be careful of is doubting a team that is expected to be worse when they're second. What I mean by that is simple. A lot of times, if you are playing a team that is really good, let's say the Shock, for instance, you spend that entire week or 2 weeks or whatever time you have focusing on, here's what we need to do to beat the Shock. Then you play a team that's not as good, like Dallas, Boston, Houston, although Houston beat the Shock, but we're not going to talk about that because that was... Whoever it is, you play them next. And because you spent so much time focusing on the Shock and how to beat them, you didn't spend any time, or not nearly enough time, focusing on how to beat Houston. And now you're playing them and you get stomped because you didn't prepare. The London game for me is going to be huge too. I understand that Washington is the one that's going to be really hard to beat, but London matters too. I want a perfect stage. I'm not going to lie. I want a perfect stage. I want to see it. 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 I want a perfect stage. Why couldn't they? This team is legit. The Toronto Defiant are legit this year. All I know is that is a huge win for the boys. I absolutely loved the tweet showing the winning moment. That was fantastic and made me fall in love with this team. Like, just seeing how much they love each other and they want to win for each other, and the happiness, it made me fall in love with this team. My heart is just, I simp. I already spent money. I simp. I can't put this on Twitch now, but that's fine. I can't wait to watch more of it, and I hope you'll watch it with me. Please, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, give it a like, give it a share if you feel like it. And yeah, go check out my other videos. There'll be playlists everywhere. It's over here. Over here, I put one up here, and then I put one over there. Yeah. So my older Overwatch League content, my podcast with my buddy Billy over on this side. And I believe that's this season of DFR. If you missed last video, go check it out. And you can also subscribe to my Twitch and my Twitter. My Twitter is where I'm going to tweet a lot about Defiant stuff. Why did I ever doubt KDG? Why? I'm going to go contemplate my life choices.